President Cyril Ramaphosa's troubles appear to be mounting. Suspended public protector wants President Ramaphosa to testify at the Parliamentary impeachment inquiry. The president will also be probed by an independent panel of experts over whether there is sufficient evidence for him to be impeached. The acting public protector, Advocate Koleka Galeka, and the Hawks are also investigating the president. And now Mkhwebane's legal team has written to the inquiry.
By now you would have received a letter from us from the 8th, that is the day before the public holiday, pertaining to the request that we're making to you to take the necessary steps to subpoena or summon President Cyril Ramaphosa, given the report that we last gave that he had declined the invitation to appear voluntarily.
The chairperson of the inquiry is yet to formally respond to the request, as well as another request to recall 2 witnesses, former SARS executives Ivan Pillay and Johan van Lochrenberg.
The other issues you have raised, especially the first 2, I take note of those. We'll wait for both letters, and we will give you feedback on both those issues.
Previously, the president had declined to appear before the inquiry as he was accused of labeling Mkhwebane a criminal, an allegation he denied. Meanwhile, a former investigator in the Public Protector's Office took to the stand and testified over the compilation of the CX report. Advocate Livuwani Chuwalule told the inquiry the recommendation for the remedial action of a constitutional amendment to change the mandate of the South African Reserve Bank was there before Mkhwebane was appointed.
The evidence of the public protector will therefore be that the connection between the mandate issues and the lifeboat issue were not her invention, but something that she found already, as I've pointed out, already even demonstrated in the provisional report. Obviously, you'll agree with that because we've just looked at 3202, correct?
Yeah, yes, considering that she had an opportunity to go through the reports and the draft report when she arrived and all the evidence, yes, I would agree.
Mpofu argued that the remedial action was already being considered under former public protector, Advocate Thuli Madonsela.
But there's nothing that prevents the public protector or anybody for that matter, or Justice Zondo or whoever, from suggesting that the constitution should be changed one way or the other, either to bring back the death sentence or to change the voting system and so on. You'd agree with that as a general statement, correct?
Yes, I would agree with you on that. A suggestion, obviously, would not be something you want to put in the remedial action that is going to bind people. I imagine you do agree with me. You may put your suggestion probably in the body of the report, where you are discussing issues, or you are analyzing the evidence and everything, but you wouldn't put that as a direct instruction if you don't have, those powers, or you are going to overreach in some of the things that you are doing.
The CX report has since been set aside by the Constitutional Court, but Mpofu has relied on a minority ruling in that judgment to defend Mkhwebane's CX report. Later this week, another former senior investigator, Advocate Ndicheni Raidani, told the inquiry that several findings in the Vrede Dairy Farm report were quashed in the final report, which Mkhwebane eventually allegedly penned herself. He says they were instructed to finalize the report, even though they had raised certain concerns, but considered Mkhwebane had the final say in the report. This included price inflation findings in the project, dismissing the Gupta leaks, and the inclusion of the names of former Free State Premier Ace Magashule and former Agriculture MEC Mosebenzi Zwane.
I told the PP that this is not going to look good from where I'm saying, because I think a lot of political commentators and legal experts will literally criticize us in the morning. And the PP, I presume she was on good mood. She wanted the report to go out. She just said to me in her language that Anginanda.
And what does that mean?
It basically translated, I don't care.
Raidani says Magashule, who was ANC Secretary General in October 2018, when the probe was reopened, was subpoenaed to answer. He says the meeting lasted half an hour, while ordinarily it would last a day.
And I remember one of the issues that transpired, it's Mr. Magashule was the person who approved this project, and he's the one who mentioned this project in his initial State of the Nation, the province address. And for the people to go to India to benchmark and investigate and do further investigation for the implementation of this project, Mr. Magashule is the one who approved it.
But under cross-examination, Raidani was forced to concede he had never directly had a conversation with Mkhwebane on the Gupta leaks. He also conceded he had no direct evidence that he was targeted by her. And then it was back to the issue of politicians and the Friede report. As Mpofu argued, some of the changes came following consultations.
The version of the public protector is going to be that is all that happened here. There was a series of information that was added or removed only as a result of the things that you have mentioned. A, internal debates. Two, the responses that were received from the Section 7-9 notices, but also in this particular case of Friede, because other agencies were either investigating a particular issue, and there's always, you have to make sure that you don't get into somebody else's space. As a broad framework of how the process unfolded, would you agree with that?
To be honest, to you and the committee, the public protector is entitled to canvass that version.
Raidani was also warned at times he was testifying under oath and should not give contradicting answers. The Friede Dairy Farm report has since been set aside. The inquiry will continue again next week, Tuesday, with the committee handling in-house matters. Ulelani Philip, SABC News, Parliament.